Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with another video. It's Valentine's Day, but it's also Ash Wednesday, so make sure you guys watch some Evil Dead. So it is Ash Wednesday, as I said, and being the big Evil Dead fan that I am, you know I had to mention it. But it's also Valentine's Day, as we all know, and originally I had planned on doing sort of a Valentine's Day themed video, talking about Valentine's themed horror movies and whatnot. But it's been done. You know, I think I've done it before in the past. I know a few other YouTubers have posted videos in the last few days about romantic horror films and such. So I decided a little bit against that. I figured, you have enough videos to go through where you can see that sort of thing. And to be honest, many of them are going to show the same movies. You know, you're going to see My Bloody Valentine. You're going to see the My Bloody Valentine remake. You're going to see the movie Valentine on there. You're going to see people talking about Hellraiser and High Tension and The Loved Ones and The Fly. All those types of movies. I mean, even Candyman is one I was thinking about. That was, you technically could watch on Valentine's Day. I mean, look at the backstory of Candyman. He was a guy in love, and in the process, kind of becomes the anti-hero, if you will, of the series. But I do have to include something Valentine's in this video. So I figured if you're still looking for something to watch, you don't want to watch one of the more common titles on Valentine's Day, why don't you try out X-Ray? Give this one a try. Also goes by the title of Hospital Massacre. There's definitely a Valentine's Day connection in this one, so if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a slasher movie that takes place in a hospital, and again, it does have a Valentine's Day connection. But none of that was the point of this video. I had the idea of going forward to do a series of videos showing you guys movies that have never received an official Region 1 DVD or Region A Blu-ray release here in the States. So basically I'll be showing movies on VHS tapes or even unofficial DVD releases made by myself or fellow collectors. Now most of these movies will be horror films, obviously, since I am the Horror Man, but there will be some that are non-horror thrown in from time to time. So this will be part one of my movies not on DVD or Blu-ray series. I plan on showing maybe 3 separate titles in each of these videos, and I'll be starting with this video right here. I do have to say, as a movie collector, I love Blu-rays and DVDs. You guys know that. I have enough of them. But there are just some movies that I do enjoy watching on VHS, and some movies that I actually prefer to watch on VHS. It's not because the picture quality is better, because it obviously isn't. It's not because the audio quality is good, and because it's usually not. But some movies are just meant to be seen in that grainy goodness. Mainly slasher films I'm talking about here. Sometimes it's great just to see an old 80s slasher with all that grain on VHS. And I also love putting the VHS tape into the VCR. It's very nostalgic for me. When collecting VHS tapes, I mainly look for movies that haven't been released on DVD or Blu-ray, because at least it's some kind of format that I can own. So with that being said, I know you guys love seeing rare stuff, so that's pretty much what you're going to see here. Again, these are movies that haven't been released on DVD or Blu-ray in America, so the chances of actually coming across them and seeing them, unless you own them on VHS, or unless you rented them back in VHS when video rental stores were still around, chances are you may not have even seen these movies or not even know that they exist. So the first one I'll be showing in this video is a 1985 horror film called Confessions of a Serial Killer. Now, as you see here, right away, the cover's probably going to remind you of Hannibal Lecter. I know that's always what it did for me. I remember seeing this video in my local video store growing up, and that cover just always stuck out to me. I just always liked seeing it. Rented it a bunch of times when I was younger, and always enjoyed it. It's basically about a killer who's apprehended and, takes credit for the death of, I think it's something like 200 women, 200 female victims. He recounts all the stories of how he killed each of them and the people that he met along the way. It's basically a Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer retelling in a way. That's actually what the movie was based on. It was based on the actual events of Henry Lee Lucas, and the names are changed, of course. He doesn't, this guy right here is not Henry Lee Lucas in the movie. However, the storyline is based on the actual killings of Henry Lee Lucas. So again, here it is. It's an old VHS tape. This movie has not been released on Region 1 DVD or Blu-ray. I do not know why. I know there are DVDs out there floating around, but I believe they're from a different region or just unofficial, bootleg releases. I've never actually come across a copy of an official Region 1 DVD of this movie. It's definitely a movie worth checking out if you ever come across the VHS. If you still have a working VCR, I have a bunch myself. I love them for nostalgic value, and I wouldn't be able to watch a lot of these movies I'll be showing you in this series without a VCR. So again, if you ever come across a copy of this, definitely worth picking up, definitely worth checking out, even for old time's sake. The next movie I'll be showing in this video that hasn't gotten an official Region 1 DVD release or Region A Blu-ray release is Massacre at Central High. This movie, released in 1976, is basically a revenge story about a new kid in school who's tired of the bullying, tired of being oppressed, and decides to take matters into his own hands. A lot of people consider this movie a slasher, and while it doesn't necessarily fit all of the slasher guidelines that some of us may set, in a way I can see it being considered that. It's one of those movies that doesn't really fit into any other category, but it does enough that if you enjoy slasher movies, you'd also enjoy this one. So again, it's a VHS tape here, no DVD for this one. I love the cover art on this, as I do most VHS releases. Very, very cool. As you see, just the basic back here with the cast and credits, a bit of the synopsis there. But I just really love this cover. This is a highly sought after tape as well for tape collectors. If there are any VHS tape collectors out there watching this video, you'll probably know it's not an easy one to get, even on VHS. Just really love this. Comes in the clamshell here. You got the basic tape. No label, didn't fall off. It just never came with one. That's how these tapes were released. You just get the side label there. So, very, very cool. Again, another one for serious VHS collectors to try to track down. Massacre at Central High. The last movie I'll be showing in this video is the most surprising of all to not have yet received an official Region 1 DVD release, because it's an early film by director Michael Mann and stars Sir Ian McKellen. The movie's from 1983, and it is The Keep. Now, this movie is about a group of Nazi soldiers who go to a mysterious fortress and mistakenly unleash a supernatural force. Sir Ian McKellen plays an historian who has to help the group of Nazis find a way to stop the force from basically killing everybody. Now, the supernatural force in this movie is basically a giant golem-type monster that goes around killing everybody. So that's what we're working with here. I know Michael Mann didn't really like this film, hence why it hasn't been officially released on DVD, in the States anyway. I know overseas this was released on DVD, but that DVD actually has a different soundtrack. Something due to licensing issues, the VHS is the only copy, the only edition of this film that has the original soundtrack, which is pretty good, I must say. It has a pretty good score. I do like this film. It's not fantastic, it's not one of the best, but I definitely think it's good enough to warrant a DVD release. As a VHS collector, these tend to go pretty quickly as well. Not for high prices like Massacre at Central High, but they do tend to go pretty quickly when they're up on eBay or even on Amazon, if the price is right. Because again, people tend to know this movie hasn't been released on another format in the States, so they like to get their hands on this one. Being directed by Michael Mann, people knowing him from Manhunter and The Last of the Mohicans and Collateral, and just to see Sir Ian McKellen also in a role, it's good stuff. Definitely worth watching, entertaining enough. The Keep. So that's it for now, guys. Part 1 of my movies not on DVD or Blu-ray series. Hope you enjoyed. Confessions of a Serial Killer, Massacre at Central High, The Keep. Leave a comment below if you've seen any of these movies. Let me know what you think of them. As always, I love talking to you guys about movies. I'll be back soon with part 2, showing you guys some more movies not released on DVD or Blu-ray. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.